Very good. It's 1:30. Thank everybody for attending. We'll begin the liquor control agenda for today. We have a few items on the agenda. Number one is to approve the minutes of the March 21st, 2023 regular meeting. We have the minutes in front of us, and we'll go through them real quickly. If anybody has any changes or corrections, otherwise we will accept a motion.
I have a tiny correction in 3A, Schwartz Malter is misspelled.
Oh, yeah.
But other than that, I have no changes.
Thanks, Lydia.
Okay, so we have that change. And with that, are you willing to make a motion?
Move to approve?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number two, review liquor applications. There are no new applications. And 2A is a location transfer of pounds from 612 First Avenue North to 6 Broadway. And Steve, can you help us with that?
Yes, thank you, Commissioner. And so, just as you said, Pounds has been operating very successfully in their current location. They had an opportunity to, become an owner of the building, and so they're moving forward with the plans and renovating 6 Broadway. And so we're just bringing it to this board, looking for an approval to move that, a couple of blocks away. That 6 Broadway is going to be a great location with the theater going in across the alley, and of course Bell Bank going in across over on Main. So it's become a very vibrant area. The owner of Pounds, Alan, is here. If you do have any questions or anything like that.
Do I have any questions? Otherwise, do we have a motion? Are we ready?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Number 3, Police Department monthly report, and 3A is the general report with the chief.
Good afternoon, everyone. Nothing real significant, I think, on the monthly report. I think following our meeting with District 64 early last month, we've made some significant progress. Our liaison officer has been working with them. They've actually helped us on an incident the first week of April. That will probably be on your April report when you see it, but they had an individual that was inside and was armed with a BB gun that didn't get caught on the scanner. It was an issue with an employee, and that individual was also underage, but they immediately called us, provided a description of this kid. We ended up locating and arresting him, and we went back to let them know that the kid was 17. They reviewed their video and identified an employee issue, and they terminated one individual based on that, and they are addressing the other stuff internally. So our liaison officer reports a pretty good relationship there, and I think we're making good progress on allowing that business to thrive and addressing those issues that are coming up. So that I just want to let you know ahead of time. You'll probably see this in the April report, but it's fairly recent. And then the other item I think on the agenda relative to the windbreak, we had a very good meeting a couple of days ago on that. We met with Mike, the manager, and all the other interested parties here, Commissioner Pepcorn, our city attorney, Steve Sprague. And I think we have some good understanding that some of the things that Mike's going to do a little bit differently at the windbreak, and discussing the usage of ID scanners, getting his bouncers into the green dot training, the de-escalation training, and just trying to be a little more attentive to over-intoxication issues and things of that nature. So I think at the end of the meeting, we kind of all felt that there was progress made from that perspective, and Mr. Nelson was there as well. So I don't think we need to make any additional motions on the windbreak at this meeting unless there's a question or a different concern.
And Chief, the other thing, so Nancy Morris, the city attorney, is going to draw up the specific things, and we'll have that at a future meeting. Isn't that correct? Or that was kind of the plan, that we discussed all those things, but then she will have them So everyone has kind of an agreement as to the direction we're going.
Yep, everything that's been stated is absolutely correct. It was a great meeting with the windbreak. Really appreciate Bob taking that step of going out and meeting with them and really coming to an understanding and then facilitating the meeting. What Nancy does want us to do is to just have a motion to continue this in case, we do run into any problems with coming up with that written agreement and any of that kind of stuff. I don't foresee any of that, but so what we'd be seeking is a motion to continue the hearing until the next Liquor Control Board meeting.
Do we have that motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? And so basically what will happen is Nancy's working on the written agreement and then both sides will agree with it and sign it and then it will come back to us. So that's kind of, isn't that correct, Steve?
That's correct.
Okay. Any other comments? Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And if you don't mind, I'll just jump in real quick. So I did a ride-along, Chief, last Saturday night from 9 at night till 3 in the morning, and it was, obviously, we have excellent officers, and you obviously you have every right to be very proud of them, as we are. They're a great group. And I will say, to me, one of the key issues is and it's state law that at 2 o'clock, the bars have to close. And so what happens is at 2 o'clock, then everyone gets pushed out all at the same time. And to me, if we can figure out some type of solution where it can be more gradual, I think that would be beneficial to everybody, because it's what happens now, especially as the weather gets nicer, the crowd doesn't disperse. And that's where I believe we have some issues. And so I think that's going to be kind of an ongoing thing. And maybe if you want to talk about it, you sure can. And I'll just add one more quick thing. The whole ID, we have some people that work at these establishments that are experts at spotting fake IDs, but to me, it's almost impossible. And not that many people were using the technology, and I believe that would help. And so maybe that's another thing for a future discussion, how we can, especially at these high-density bars and establishments, to have that be implemented, I think would be very beneficial, because I don't think it's just humanly possible when there's that many people coming in to be able to do that. So that's a couple of my things. And so it was a great experience. I don't know if I'll do it again for a while, because those are trained professionals, and it's a very challenging profession. Go ahead, Chief.
Yeah, no, thanks. I agree. We do have a bunch of great cops, and they are doing tremendous work out there. It was good for you, and I certainly welcome anyone else that wants to do it, to get that bird's eye view of what bar closed looks like. And it's extremely overwhelming just because of the capacity. One of the other things we might continue to talk about maybe is capacity of establishments, and because the current ordinance doesn't really allow the police to do anything with that, and that might be another tool going forward to help control some capacity. But at the end of the day, I don't have a great idea. I don't think any bars want to close earlier than the bar next to them. If we could come up with something like that, it'd be great, but I don't know if that's practical. But that is an issue that we have to work with. And when we talk about food trucks, it's the same thing, because the food trucks being in that proximity where all those people are coming out adds to that congestion and inability to disperse. So, there's a number of things there, I think, to look at.
Any other comments or questions? Otherwise, I think, unless anybody has anything else, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda. Number 4, 4A is Green Dot training offered by the Rape and Abuse Crisis Center. And Steve, if you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I happened to be in another meeting, and there was a pamphlet sitting there, and we've talked here a lot about de-escalation training, and we talked about Green Dot training. I really didn't know what it was, and I saw this pamphlet said, sign up for Green Dot training, and I thought, wow, okay, I'm just gonna bring that here. I'll get it out to my listserv through the email and make that opportunity available. I do want to call them and talk to them, make sure that they can handle the capacity if all of a sudden all the bars start sending all their people to that. In addition, I still want to reach out to the North Dakota Safety Council, who's doing our server training. They also have de-escalation training there, but they only do that in person. So I wanted to see if they would be willing to have somebody come here and run a couple of sessions. We could do a 10 o'clock and a 2 o'clock in one day. I feel confident that our industry here would fill a couple of classes like that. So those are a couple of things I'll try to be able to have something positive to bring back next meeting, and hopefully we can move forward with some de-escalation training.
Steve, can I ask you a question? So this green dot training, so is it something where you go through a class and then you get certified, or you get some type of, or I don't know how it works, and maybe you could have them come and talk to us or something like that at some point, because I think that it's something that if it's already being offered and something that can be addition to our server training would be a good thing.
Do you know? Okay.
A little bit about it. I think it's referred to a lot as bystander training, and so what it does is provide skill sets, tools for folks to de-escalate, or how to act as a bystander without getting in the middle of a brawl, but, notifying the authorities when it's appropriate. So I think it's more of a skill set that you learn. They might give you a certificate that you attended the course, but I think that'd be about it.
I just want to say, I think it's a great idea. I've seen it, I've seen these trainings on NDSU's campus, so, kind of kids that, folks are dealing with in bars, I'm sure. And I think that I've seen students come out of that with like a lot more confidence about, if they see something that is not right, that they can kind of help. So I think it's a great idea, Steve. So yeah, I love it.
That's it.
Very good. Well, that's, unless anybody else has anything else to add to the agenda, that's it for today. Thank everybody for coming, and have a good afternoon. We are adjourned.